Anonymous Watch Guy here with a full review video. Quick wrist check. We're in the Bolt Pilot World Timer from the Baltimore Watch Company. Really like this watch. Do have a video up on the channel on that one. Today we are giving the full review treatment to the new Hamilton Khaki Field Expedition. I really do like this watch. I think it's a really solid release for Hamilton. But is it worth $995 for the full retail price? You're coming in at almost double what a standard Hamilton Khaki Field cost. It's definitely getting up there a little bit in price, and that is the price on the leather strap. If you want it on bracelet, it's over $1K US dollars. So how good is the Hamilton Khaki Field Expedition? Let's take a look at the specs. This is a 41 millimeter watch. This also does come in 37 millimeter. So it is available in a 37 millimeter version. It is a 20 millimeter lug opening. I measured it at just a little bit over 48 millimeters lug tip to lug tip. It is 11.5 millimeters thick. So even on this larger version, I think the dimensions are very wearable. Obviously on the smaller version, it's going to be even more wearable if you have a smaller wrist. Thankfully on this version, and this is one upgrade over a standard Khaki Field, you do get a screw down crown and 100 meters water resistance. So that screw down crown is side. It is at the 3 o'clock position, but I think that is a needed upgrade for the Khaki Field line. I think if you're going to have a field watch, it's an outdoorsy type watch. You're going to be doing stuff outdoors. You need a screw down crown and at least 100 meters water resistance, in my opinion. You do have a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective treatment, and it's a very nice sapphire crystal. It's a flat crystal, and it looks very nice. Gives you a really good shot of that white dial. Definitely a big fan of this white dial version. It is running the Hamilton H10 automatic movement. Of course, Hamilton being part of Swatch Group, it is an ETA-based movement. This does have the Nivacron balance spring for some anti-magnetic properties, and it also gives you 80 hours power reserve. So this is a really good movement, solid movement. Definitely provides some value for the watch. Definitely a big fan of that. I do like this white version the best. It does come in a black version. It does come in a blue dial version as well. I think this white dial version just looks really clean. I think it's extremely legible. I think it's very nicely done. I also like that it's no date. Always a fan of a nice no date watch. You've got a printed on railroad track style minute tracker on the outside there. Got your Hamilton logo nicely printed beneath the 12 o'clock and just automatic printed above the 6. So not a lot of text. Your Arabics are very legible. This watch is really easy to read at a glance. It does have faux Tina lume, which isn't the greatest glowing lume in the world, but it serves its purpose, and I like the contrast of that faux Tina style lume against the stark white dial. Definitely think it looks really nice. I think it is extremely legible at a glance, which is very important for this type of watch. This compass bezel also is a functioning compass bezel. It is 60 click, or at least it feels like it's 60 click to me. It is bi-directional. It's not just friction fit, it does click. Not extremely audible clicks, but it is easy to turn and operate. And it is stiff enough to where if you bump it, it's not going to move. Nice, easy to grip on the coin edging. And you've also got these tabs here, as you can see. You can kind of get a grip on your directional points on the compass and turn the bezel pretty easily as well. And it does function. I am in the northern hemisphere, so the way it would work is if, say, my light there is the sun, I would get the sun lined up with the hour hand, and then you would find the halfway point between the sun and 12 o'clock. So in this case, the sun is over here at 4, essentially. The halfway point between the sun and 12 o'clock would be 2, and that would be south. That direction would be south. I have tested this out. That does, in fact, work. In the southern hemisphere, it would be the opposite. So that is kind of cool if you're ever out in the woods and kind of lost your direction. Of course, you'd probably have some sort of GPS tracking device, but for whatever reason you didn't have a signal, you were wearing this watch, you could find your direction with this compass bezel. I think that's really handy. I think it's nice that it actually does function and it does work. So that is a cool feature of this watch. I also think this compass bezel looks really good. I like the look of a stainless steel bezel. I think the watch overall is nicely finished. It definitely has a very tool watch aesthetic. Very nicely done on the brushing. An all brushed finish on this watch. And I think it looks really good. I think it definitely, again, looks like a tool. The fact that you can use it like a tool is just an added bonus. Very nice looking watch. My biggest complaint is the leather strap. This leather strap, honestly, it just isn't very good. You can hear it. It has a kind of a crinkly sound too. Not super comfortable, not super easy to break in. It looks pretty good. I like the dark brown leather look with the cream style stitch. It does have one fixed and one floating keeper. You do have a Hamilton signed buckle. The look of the strap is fine. The feel and the quality of the strap just isn't up to par with the head of the watch. And to me, it's not up to par with a watch at this price point. Now, this watch is available on Bracelet. So why didn't I get the Bracelet version? Well, the only version you can get on the Bracelet right now, currently at the time of this video, is the black dial. I wanted the white dial, so I had to buy it on this strap. The good news is it has a 20mm lug opening, so I can change it out to a different strap. The bad news is it doesn't have drilled lugs, and it also does not have quick-release spring bars. So it's going to be a bit of a pain to change it to a different strap. Not a fan of the strap Hamilton. I think this is a great release. I think there's a lot of positives with this watch. The strap is not one of them. You do get a sapphire display case back showing off that Hamilton H10 movement. Looks pretty nice. Not the most attractive movement in the world, but it's not bad. You do get a nice skeletonized, partially skeletonized Hamilton rotor there. You've got some specs around the back there. 100 meters water resistance, Swiss made. All that good stuff there around the back. But overall, a solid release for Hamilton. I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons. It's a very attractive looking tool style watch. I think there's definitely a lot to like about the watch. I don't know if $1,000 US dollars is the appropriate price. I think it could probably be a little bit cheaper. But overall, I think it is a really nice watch. I'm happy with the screw-down crown and the upgraded water resistance over the standard Hamilton Khaki Field. I think there's enough extras on this watch to make it a solid release and a solid buy if you're in the market for something from the Khaki Field line. And I think it's a solid lineup from Hamilton. But overall, pretty nice. Let's take a look at the lume on the watch, and then we'll see what it looks like on my 7.5-inch wrist. Here is the lume on the watch. You can see it's not phenomenal. It's also not terrible. It gets the job done. I think the handset glows very nicely. Your handset is going to last longer than your indices. I think the lume at each of the indices could be a little bit brighter. The tip of the seconds hand also lumed. Overall, again, it's Fotina style lume. It's not the greatest. You got a nice green glow. Maybe it's C3. But you know, it's there. Not terrible. Not great. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. Again, it is the 41mm version. So it is the larger of the two versions. If you have a smaller wrist, perhaps consider the 37. But you can see even on my wrist, sub 50mm lug to lug. So that is a magic number for a lot of people. It's going to work for a lot of wrists. Looks very nice on wrist. Very legible at a glance. Definitely like the overall look of the watch. I think it's a really sharp looking watch. Again, don't love the strap. That's the #1 drawback on this one. If you want to buy the bracelet to go with it, that wouldn't be a bad move. or swap it out to a different strap. But overall, I do think this is a great release for Hamilton. I think it's a very solid watch. The Hamilton Khaki Field Expedition. If you liked the video, give me a like, maybe subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.